You're listening to the Caps, Locks, and Chair Shots podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, one and all. Whenever and wherever you may be listening to us, you have your ears locked into the Caps, Locks, and Chair Shots podcast. My name is Ed Burkeen. I will be your host for this evening's festivities. Joining me, as always, is the muscle of the podcast, future MMA champion and hopeful voice of the Philippines. He is the one, the only, the Jaime.
What's up, wrestling fans? Let's get things started.
And also joining me is my tag team partner, my arch nemesis and my very best friend. You know him. I hate him. He is the real Danny D, Dan Dorrit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dan Dorrit Show. We're going to start the show off by introducing the host of the show, my very best friend, the guy I'm annoying crazy right now, the one, the only, the Ed Bricky.
Well, at least you pronounced my name right this time. Anyway, he's not the host. I am. I run this show. Dan does not. Anyway, we're going to start it off like we do with every show since we rebooted, and that is with our one big takeaway of the week. Dan, let's go to you first. What's the one thing that stands out to you in the wrestling world?
The fact that my boy Lio Rush might not be on the NXT card this weekend. There are reports that he might be released.
Yeah, your boy Lio Rush might not be in the WWE by next week.
Yeah, well, the show's this Saturday, so if he's there, if he's not on this card this weekend, he's probably released, right? Obviously, I live in Maryland. He's from the D.C. area. He wrestled 15 minutes. His school was basically 15 minutes from where the show is. So if he's not there this weekend, I think he's gone. I think he's done. They're working out the terms of his release.
The question is,
stay tuned for that.
The question is, if he's not there, will you ask for a refund?
No, I'm expecting to see Dijak. I'm expecting to see, Almas is going to be there. Actually, thinking about this, McIntyre was supposed to be there. So, it's going to be an interesting card because I don't know what females are going to be on the show. I'm actually hoping to see Dakota Kai. I'm hoping she's going to be there this weekend, but no, I'm pretty excited for this NXT card on Saturday.
All right, well, that was Dan's elongated one big takeaway. Jaime, what's your takeaway?
Everyone's starting to walk with Elias.
Short, sweet, to the point. I like that a lot better than what Dan said his was. But yeah, you're 100% right. He's starting to get a following, and it seems like he's not as annoying as he once was. Is that what you're getting there, Jaime?
Yeah, he's getting better with his music, and people no longer chant "drift away, drift away."
Yeah, but that was one of the things that was so great about him. I think he was so bad at first that now he started getting ironic cheers, and now that people are actually cheering for him, not ironically, but because it's awesome.
I think one of the most underestimated things that he did was TakeOver Orlando. He did the whole mass luchador gimmick after he was, fired from NXT, and that was when he really started to. That was when he really started to get over.
El Vagabundo.
Yes.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Watch football, or are you going to pay attention to us?
No, I was totally paying attention to you guys, but Matt Damon has a new movie called Downsizing where they basically just shrink people, and it looks just so dumb. Sorry.
Congratulations. Reboot of Honey, I Shrunk Ourselves. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Honey, I Shrunk the Baby. Boom. You want to see that movie? Go get it on VHS.
And Rick Moranis is such a better actor than Matt Damon. Just saying, Rick Moranis never got lost on Mars. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, my one big thing, Roman Reigns, for the first time in what seems like forever, got more cheers than boos, and it wasn't because he was part of the Shield. It's because people actually wanted to see him wrestle. And that's fantastic. But let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever felt the need where you're just overworked, overstressed, not getting enough sleep, then I have the product for you. It's called Fuckatol. When you just can't handle the world anymore, grab yourself a nice big bottle of Fuckatol. It will make all your worries, cares, and unworldly desires just melt away. Fuckatol, use as directed. So, Dan, you brought up the girls being on the NXT card and who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. So why not, let's talk about it now. 5 NXT call-ups in the last week and change coming to Raw and SmackDown. What does this mean for the women's championships? Where do they go from here? Where do Alexa Bliss and Charlotte stand?
So I don't think Bliss is dropping the title to any of the call-ups or the return of Paige. I don't see a heel dropping the belt to a heel. I think that belt still gets dropped to Asuka. That's kind of the build-up that's going to be there. But that, I could be wrong because I don't think that happens till Mania. And we're still, 5 months away from Mania? So that means Alexa's going to hold on to the belt for another 5-6 months-ish.
Yeah, doesn't it seem like WrestleMania 33 was a year and a half ago, and we're still 5 months out of 34?
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Like I know this is like the quote-unquote dead period, and it doesn't pick up until the Rumble, but God, it seems like WrestleMania's taken forever. Jaime, do you agree with Dan about the Asuka situation?
Yeah, but I also think this entire feud with Paige and all, somebody's just going to team up with Asuka to battle with Paige and company.
Is it possible that maybe that somebody is Alexa?
Alexa, I'm not sure, but I think they're going to run this storyline for some time until Ember Moon gets called up and another one gets called up.
Okay. Well, what about SmackDown?
More call-ups? I'm sorry to cut you off, Ed.
No, go ahead.
That I'm not sure if you were, because you know how much I love females.
Very little, judging by your Grindr posts.
Rumble?
I was just going to get there, but we have to talk about SmackDown first.
Sorry. I'm just really excited for the thought of it.
Yeah, we're totally going to get there. Just be patient. Let's talk about the SmackDown situation. Ruby Riott and her 2 little cohorts just beat the crap out of Naomi and pretty much everybody else they saw. Where do we go from here? Who's going to be the one to challenge the champion?
If it's any of them, it's got to be Ruby Riott, even though I think the WWE would rather put the belt on Liv. I think it's going to be Ruby. But we still have Carmella with the briefcase. It's just been gone.
Well, she's still reeling from the loss of her dog. Poor James Ellsworth. Anyway, Jaime, what are you...
Her dog? Huh, interesting.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think they're going to terrorize the lower part of the SmackDown women's division because you still have Carmella, you still have Charlotte on top of the women's division, so they're going to start from below.
Yeah. Alright, Dan, since you brought it up and you jumped the gun, let's talk about it. Women's Royal Rumble. By my count, with the 5 call-ups from NXT plus Paige and the 11 to 12, give or take, that are on the roster, it's only going to be 18. Is this going to be a 20 or a 30?
It's got to be like a 20 to 25.
I know we're getting teabagged by Jaime right now via camera because he felt the need to zoom in on his crotch. So that's fun.
Okay, so it's going to be 20 to 25. Can we run through these quickly?
Go for it. Who you got?
Bliss.
That's 1.
Charlotte.
2.
Nia Jax. Tamina. Foxy. Ruby. Paige. Liv. Logan. I can't believe I'm blanking. We just talked about Sasha, Bailey,
Becky.
Maybe she's shooting a movie. Naomi, maybe. I don't know where she is. Dana Brooke, I'm missing like a call up or two as well.
So we got 14 right now.
Yeah, we're 14, and I know we're missing a few.
Jaime.
Lana could probably go in there.
Well,
maybe we get the iconic duo.
According to every other commercial I've seen for Total Divas, she can't wrestle. So,
dude, it's crazy. Like, if you look up her match history, she's still wrestling on house shows. She's still doing house shows.
I don't see what's so bad about her. Like,
no, can I go on a rant here?
Sure, derail the show.
I'll make
Go
it
ahead.
Quick. So like everyone saying that Lana can't wrestle and everything like this, like she does a flat, like you watch these Total Diva previews, she does a flat back bump. Flat back bump is one of the hardest things to do. Like you literally have to let yourself fall onto plywood pretty much. Like yeah, sure, NXT rings probably have more cushion than some indie rings and stuff like that, but you're falling flat on your back, like onto plywood, and then you do a flip bump, like you know you're landing solid on your upper back. Handstand bump, they're your three basic bumps. And none of them are easy to do. Like, you know the impact you're about to take. Not to mention she can do some other decent moves as well. A lot of her stuff is just on the ground. But probably one of the best female wrestlers right now does not leave. Very rarely will she leave the ground, and that's Natty. Unless Natty's taking a bump, she doesn't really leave the ground. She'll take a bump off the top rope, but she won't do a bump off the top rope, if that makes sense. It's really, I don't know, it's just really frustrating to hear people bash on someone who is clearly passionate about wrestling and wants to get better at it, and she enjoys doing this. Like, I don't understand why people have to break someone down if it's something they enjoy doing, and I'm done.
You know, I would like to bring your attention to some of the first shows that we ever did. Back when Jaime was still learning English, back when you were 50 pounds heavier, and back when I had more hair. You would rip on me constantly, and you would rip on Jaime too, for the exact same thing, for us defending John Cena the way you just defended Lana. Am I wrong, Jaime?
I'm right.
See?
You're right.
Hold on. It's a little different, and if you notice, as time has gone on, I have really lightened to Cena because of matches that he's put on. When you think of old Cena...
You had 15 years to do that. 15 years.
You're right. I'm not going to try to defend myself. You're right. I shouldn't have did it. I was wrong. But, man, it was funny when I was like, oh my god, I feel like Ed.
Yeah, that was...
And I think as one of our favorite wrestlers would say, I think it brought a tear to your eye.
All right, let's move on. Jaime, we haven't heard from you. So I'm going to ask you this question. Any Royal Rumble we've ever seen, any Battle Royal we've ever seen, we always get the surprise entrant. The legend that comes back, somebody who hasn't been in the company for a while. What women could be in that spot for the Women's Battle Royal? Who you got?
For the women's legends, I can say you can have Beth Phoenix, Trish Stratus. I think she still has it. Lita, I heard, wrestles again. But there's also the possibility, isn't Kelly in contact with the WWE right now?
Everyone's favorite. Yes.
Barbie Blanks is a beautiful woman. Not gonna lie there. Like, beautiful woman. Anyway, speaking of beautiful women, I'm gonna go off on a little sidetrack here. She's not the hot girl of the show, but she very well could be. How many of you guys watched ECW? Not ECW, Philadelphia ECW, ECW on Sci-Fi. How many of you guys watched that?
Here and there.
Toward the very end, from about 2007 on, Teddy Long had an assistant who wound up becoming the full-time general manager named Tiffany. For my book, I had to do a recap of an ECW on Sci-Fi show, and let me tell you something. It blew me away because Kofi Kingston was still Jamaican, and still had the accent. CM Punk was blowing bubblegum. There was a guy named Ricky Ortiz who had a rally towel and was just, oh my god, god awful. Matt Hardy was the ECW champion. And The Miz was still wearing a fedora and gloves and referring to himself as the chick magnet. 2008 was a crazy time. But Tiffany was gorgeous. But anyway, how about somebody a little bit older? Is it possible we see a particular adult film star turned WWE Hall of Famer named Sunny come in?
I think we might be better. I think we might have a better chance of seeing Jacqueline.
Okay. What about somebody like Wendy Richter? Old school.
I don't know, but I think it would be a good way for them to introduce some of these new NXT girls as well.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that haven't been on TV yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, I expect we're going to see a lot from the Mae Young Classic. A lot of the women that were in that, but it's just, I don't know. I'm more excited to see what legends are coming back. Who's gonna be there? That's as soon as we hear the music, it's gonna be like, oh, damn. Like we got with DDP a couple of years ago. Where nobody's really expecting, and all of a sudden you hear, "Yo, it's me," and the place just went berserk.
It's me.
It's me. It's DDP.
P. Bang!
Wow, we were so off everything with that. Timing was terrible. Anyway, let's why not talk about the hot girl of the show since we're on the topic of women. Who you got, Danny boy?
Oh man, it's got to be Liv Morgan.
No, you're wrong. Mandy, totally hotter.
Yeah, but I could have been saving her for a different show.
I know you weren't because we argued about this the other day.
No, Liv's so much hotter. She's so much younger. She's like 19, 20 years old. I don't understand how...
When you reach maturity,
I don't understand how Enzo let that slip through his fingers.
He's a moron. I mean, he's...
And you can't teach that.
You really can't teach that. But, speaking of Enzo, it kind of falls into our next topic. But before we do, the hot girl of the show was brought to you by the National Federation of Kazakhstani Pleasure Department. Now with the 5th ranked hookers in the Middle East, 50% off all rates for denouncing the Great Satan's Western culture. That's the Kazakhstani National Federation of Pleasure. Be sure to give them a call the next time you're in the Middle East. Say again?
Can we get the 3rd ranked hookers of the Middle East to sponsor the show next week?
I don't know.
Get in contact with them?
I'm trying to stay off the CIA's watch list, and that calling hookers in the Middle East probably put you on there. Anyway, since you brought up Enzo, let's talk a little bit about 205 Live. Jaime, this is kind of your wheelhouse. The Zoe Train. Why? Why are we talking about the Zoe Train?
Because it's the only thing to talk about these past few weeks. It's Enzo and the Zoe Train versus all the baby faces. So it's become a one storyline. And it bothers me because NXT has the same running time as 205 Live. And NXT has 3 to 4 storylines. But 205 Live, they don't have that. Now, they used to have 3, then it went down to 2, and now it's 1.
Okay, well, we've heard rumors that there's going to be a few new additions to 205 Live, including Hideo Itami, Rockstar.
I'm the one that broke that.
And I'm the one that's talking about it.
You can't even let me drop that?
How about Rockstar Spud? Can I talk about that one? I mean, this is my show. You are just a guest.
Excuse me, I have the contract right here. We are 50-50 owners.
Hey, this is the new and improved Caps, Locks, and Chair Shots podcast. You own nothing. Good day, sir.
Right there, 50-50 owners.
That looked more like a swastika and a 0. Are you anti-Semitic? I think you're a Nazi. Dan's a Nazi, folks. Anyway, Jaime, I asked you a question. Hideo Itami, Rockstar Spud, can they save 205 Live?
Hideo Itami, maybe. I'm not sure if as a babyface or as a heel. Rockstar Spud, I'm pretty curious. Is he going to be given a new name? Is he going to be given a goofy gimmick or a serious gimmick? Or is he going straight to 205 Live? Or is is he going to pass by NXT first? Lot of questions about Rockstar's, but
Yeah,
And the answers to all of these questions will be answered right here on the Caps, Locks, and Chair Shot podcast.
and that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a tease, and it's beautiful. One more question. Will we see 205 Live become more of a joke? I.e., is it possible that we could see a little person compete in 205 Live? Maybe the reemergence of Swoggle, or Little Beaver, or Little Tokyo, or Little, and then any other racist name that Vince decides to come up with.
No, I think the WWE's over the bad gimmick stage.
Speaking of bad gimmicks, in that ECW show that I mentioned earlier, Finley and his son, Hornswoggle, competed in a match against Gavin Spears. I don't know who Gavin Spears was. Apparently he was part of the Superstar Initiative that brought NXT guys to the main roster. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Are you saying Gavin Spears is Ty Dillinger? Jaime?
What? He
I
was.
didn't say anything.
I saw you doing the Ty Dillinger 10.
Oh my god, he was. Dude, this is like a revelation right now. Was he really, Jaime?
Yes, he is.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that changes so many things! Dude, he got the crap beat out of him, though. Like, Finley beat the hell out of him. Anyway. My mind's blown. Holy. Oh, wow.
I thought you knew, guys.
No!
No, dude, I didn't.
No, what? Oh.
Actually, I only realized it when I became a huge fan of Ty Dillinger when he switched to that Perfect 10 gimmick. So I did a little research on him and realized, I had that same reaction you're having right now, Ed. When I realized that he was Gavin Spears.
Wow. That's really cool. That's one of those, like, oh wow, Des Bryant. Oh, good. Bravo, Des. Bravo. Sorry, he just...
chucked it?
What?
He chucked it?
Oh, wow, that was beautiful. Anyway, sorry, back to topic. Wow, my brain's blown. Anyway, we need to move on. Let's shift gears. Jaime, I'm going to take this one from you. It's the long-gone wrestler of the show. And it's time, once again, to come aboard the... Train. I know I ain't the only one. Is there any pimps up in this house? Well, to all of you that know, the Godfather be pimping hoes nationwide. Man, I know you don't want to hide it. I want you to light it. I want you to take out that fatty and light that blunt up and say, pimpin' ain't easy!
Pimpin' really easy!
Yeah, it really kind of is. Especially since his biggest fan was Jerry the King Lawler. And he had like 8 wives. Maybe pimpin' is not that hard. I don't know. I'm more of a one-woman kind of man. You hear that? I'm a one-woman kind of man.
Is it also worth mentioning that it was the Godfather who melted Undertaker's urn to create a chain? To create a necklace?
I was just going to ask you guys if you guys had any good memories of the Godfather.
That's mine.
I really forgot about that. Mind blown again. Dan, what do you remember about the Godfather?
All the hot chicks that used to come down to the ring with him.
Amen, brother. Amen. But I'll tell you what.
That's literally the only thing I remember about the Godfather vividly.
I
think he won a championship one time.
Well, to give you a little bit of a history, he was something racist where they said he was from an African chief or whatever. And then he became Papa Shango, thank you. Then he became the Godfather, and then he joined the Nation of Domination and was Kama.
I thought he was Kama before the Godfather.
Kama first.
Well, he would. Yeah, whatever. Fine, he was Godfather. Whatever. But then he became the Godfather. Then he became the good father in Right to Censor.
I remember that.
Which, a total underrated gimmick, by the way. Right to Censor was beautiful. And then he went back to being the Godfather. It got convoluted after that. But I did see on an indie poster, Papa Shango was supposed to take on the Godfather in a match, and I'm not 100% sure they knew it was the same person. Because it was billed as their main event.
That's pretty funny. I know he did the Papa Shango gimmick here at MCW not too long ago.
This was
it was like a 2-day event. He did the Papa Shango gimmick one day, and I think he did the Godfather Dick gimmick the other day.
No, on this poster, it was a picture of him dressed as Papa Shango and him dressed as the Godfather, and they were supposed to face off against one another.
That's pretty funny.
It was, I don't know if it's people not paying attention. Maybe
solid booking.
Maybe he got double the fee because, I don't know, but it was beautiful.
In the kayfabe.
What if he did both entrances?
Oh, you mean like as Papa Shango and then threw down the smoke bomb and just disappeared, hurried up, ran to the back when the lights went out, put on a big fuzzy coat and came out as the Godfather?
Yeah.
That would be beautiful. God, that would be amazing. Anyway, no. Alright, sorry. My big memory of the Godfather, WrestleMania 16, he is being let out by just almost 15 hoes, and Ice-T is rapping. And I heard Ice-T say, pimpin' ain't easy, man, about 30 times in the time it took the Godfather to get into the ring. Like, you could tell it got to the point to where he was really committed to the song, but even he was getting tired of saying pimpin' ain't easy. It was a classic entrance, but we need to move on. That, god damn, I'm still flipping out about Ty Dillinger. Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, the long gone wrestler of the show is brought to you by the subject of my rant. Since Dan got to do one, I'm going to do one myself. And that segment was brought to you by SaveEli.org. It's a fictitious website that is out to save the job of one Eli Manning. Now, this is where I'm going to go off on my tangent here, and I've made no secret I dislike the New York Football Giants. I just dislike them on sheer principle. But what they're doing to Eli Manning is god-awful. The number 10 will be hanging on the Ring of Honor at MetLife Stadium when it's all said and done. And yet here they sit with a guy that's made 210 consecutive starts with a positive TD to INT ratio, and they're going to bench him, not in favor of the rookie that they legit need to find out if he's going to be part of the New York Giants' future. No, they're going to bench him for Geno Smith. Geno Smith, who was so bad in the same stadium that the Giants are going to play in, that he got benched by the Jets. By the Jets of all people. And you know what's the most pathetic thing about it? Eli Manning is being blamed. Ben McAdoo is making Eli Manning a scapegoat, and he has no reason to. It's McAdoo's mishandling of the clock, mishandling of his personnel, that are the reason the Giants are 1-10. You know how many starting receivers that Eli had in week 1 he's going to have for would have had for week 13? 1.
0.
1. Sterling Shepard. But Shepard's injured. He's banged up as it is. He's only going to get 20 snaps, if that, this week. What running game are they going to have? Who's going to be in the Giants' backfield? I don't even think the people at MetLife Stadium know. How about their offensive line? It's non-existent. I'm pretty sure me and Dan could go out there and be the left side of their offensive line and stop more sacks than what they could. They are a pathetic excuse for a football team, and right now they're playing for a top 3 draft pick, and their only competition are the surprisingly good-looking 49ers and the terrible Browns. The Giants don't deserve a draft pick. They don't deserve Eli freaking Manning, former MVP, two-time Super Bowl champion, beating Tom Brady, and they're going to treat him like he is the issue in New York. McAdoo deserves to be fired, and I bet And I bet after Geno Smith turns the ball over 4 times in the first half, and they bring in Davis Webb, and he either gets injured or he turns the ball over 3 times, he's going to walk over to number 10, who's going to be sitting on the bench, holding his helmet, probably holding one of them Microsoft Surface tablets playing solitaire, and he's going to go, "Hey, Eli, would you mind playing the 4th quarter because we're down by 40. And you know what Eli should do? He should tell him to shove it up his stuck-up ass. Because McAdoo deserves to be fired, the general manager deserves to be fired, and the Giants should be ashamed of themselves for doing that to a legend. I'm out.
I have something to add because you didn't mention it. Did you hear that McAdoo told Eli he was going to be benched, but said, "Hey, do you want to start the game so you can keep your start streak alive?"
Yeah. Oh, Eli did the right thing by telling him to go fuck himself. Because that's pretty much what he did. You know, it's the exact opposite of what the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Favre should have started the last year he did in Green Bay. And he did. Because that's how you treat a legend. And whether we want to believe it or not, Eli Manning is a legend.
I hope my boy Eli calls up Tommy C and's like, "Hey, man, you need a quarterback?"
Tommy C?
I'm Coughlin.
Oh, Jesus. In Jacksonville?
Yep.
No, thank you. I don't want him to die.
I mean, that offensive line isn't that bad.
And he would be handing off to Leonard Fournette 30 times a week, so...
And throwing to Allen Robinson next year when he's healthy.
Hey, that's true. You know what? But I saw this exact same thing happened in St. Louis when they ran Kurt Warner out of town in favor of Mark Bolger.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, let me ask the St. Louis Rams fans that are going to the TWA, or Edward Jones Dome, excuse me. Let me ask them guys, how's it looking? Because the team was so god-awful, they had to leave the time zone to get away from the stink that they were in St. Louis. I'm not saying the Giants are leaving New York. I'm just saying 90% of that organization deserves to be shit-canned.
Hey, so really quick, on the football topic, because I know you're a Rams fan as much as you don't want to admit it.
I root for the players, not the team.
Yes, I know.
I want to make that clear.
And I completely understand that as much as I troll you about it. What are your thoughts on the team, though, this year? Like, are you surprised with the way they're playing? Do you think they're a legit contender?
I think they're a season too early. They're playing way above their pay grade right now. I didn't expect Jared Goff to be this good. I didn't expect the rebound we've seen from Todd Gurley. I think their offensive line is playing out of their mind. They've always had a good defense. Anytime you got Aaron Donald out there, it's something special to watch him play the game of football. But I think they're still a year too early. The Eagles just look so good. And if you can shut down Todd Gurley in that running game, I'm not sure I trust Jared Goff yet to win me a playoff game. Now, if he goes out, because the Rams are probably going to get a bye in the first round.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If he goes out and he wins a divisional game against, I don't know, Seattle, which there's a really good shot that that's going to happen. If they go out and they beat Seattle, I'll trust Jared Goff a little bit more, but I don't think anybody's getting past Philadelphia in the entire league.
Coach of the year?
He has to be. I mean, he has to be. I don't.
You don't think it's Peterson?
I think Peterson has more to work with than what McVay does. McVay's got a very young team.
My opinion by far, it's McVay. I 100% think it's McVay. But I think Peterson might get it. But one last football question. We're gonna have to do a football pod soon. You just want to wait?
No. Let's do it. Let's go on. Jaime looks very confused. Let's go.
MVP of the league right now.
It's Goff.
Goff? You don't think it's Wentz?
No, I think it's Goff. That's just me being a Rams fan, though. I would be upset either way.
Okay. So it's kind of like 1A, 1B for you right now?
I can see the last 3 weeks are going to tell it. I mean, Goff could go in the tank. He could, the Eagles could lock up the division this week, and they could sit him down, and then if Goff goes off and for some miracle comes within a game of the Eagles in the standings, Goff should win. But the thing about it is, there's a lot more sports writers in Los Angeles and on the West Coast than there is in Philadelphia, and a lot of the ones on the East Coast have an axe to grind with Philadelphia for the way things have happened. Goff may get that fuck Philadelphia vote.
It's very true.
So,
all right, I'm off the football topic for now.
Okay, well, let's go back to wrestling. And Jaime, we haven't heard you talk for a while, and
That's because we were talking about American sports.
that's true. Well, Jaime follows American sports. I've heard him talk about some things. I want to ask.
Soccer's not American, Ed.
Well, in America it's called soccer, but everywhere else it's football. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, just stop, Dan. Jaime, which is better? Monday Nitro from 1998 or Impact Now?
Storyline-wise, I think it will be Monday Nitro because despite Hogan and the gang doing their politics backstage, there was like a decent flow in storyline. There wasn't much over-the-top ridiculousness compared to what Impact's doing now.
You just made my brain hurt. Are you kidding?
Oh.
There was no over-the-top storyline. So,
What I mean to say with over-the-top is that it's not as ridiculous as a Grado versus Joseph Park.
we'll get to Joseph Park here in a minute. But Impact never sent Goldberg to jail right across the street to avoid the biggest, most promoted rematch they've ever had on Nitro, only for there to be one finger poke in the match and Hulk Hogan winning the World Championship again. That's about as ridiculous as he gets. It's ridiculous to have Miss Elizabeth, the First Lady of Wrestling, somebody who is so revered and respected, to accuse somebody falsely of stalking her, and then basically, when she was caught in the lie, after 2.5 hours of the dumbest Atlanta detectives trying to unravel her fragile story, her to go, can you tell Goldberg I'm sorry? And that was it. That was the big payoff. That's not ridiculous? Yes. Joseph Park and Grado, I hate, oh my god, I hate that storyline. But promoting a rematch between Kevin Nash and Goldberg during the show, the week before, at the pay-per-view, and then completely changing it, and it not happening, where right up until Hulk Hogan came out to the ring, Tony Schiavone was still saying Goldberg versus Kevin Nash. 10 minutes left in Nitro, that was still being said. That's not ridiculous? Really?
Well, at least they do not do it they do not really do big screw-ups on a weekly basis like what Impact does.
Jaime, did you watch Nitro at all? Like, ever?
Yeah. Because personally, I bought Nitro back then more than I'm buying Impact now, as much as I want to show Impact some love.
Oh, I think that's...
If I'm going...
I think that's because we were younger and we didn't catch all this stuff. Like, watching Nitros now, you see that Rey Mysterio was kicked out of the Latino World Order 3 weeks before Starrcade, competed against 2 members of the LWO at Starrcade, and then the week after Starrcade was shown at a party with nothing but LWO members. Stuff like that really bothers me. And that's what I see WCW did all the time. So they screwed up way more than what they got credit for. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Nitro was better.
You guys disgust me. But you know what? Your disgustingness is the reason that we have a sponsor for this segment. And this segment is sponsored by a book coming out, hopefully by the middle of next year, called But I Digress. It is a fan's historical look at some of the big moments during the Monday Night Wars, and it paints a picture that says wrestling now is better than what we got in the Attitude Era or the Monday Night War. You can check that out. It's written by me, will be produced, you guessed it, by me. We're going to have that out hopefully by June of next year. It's going to be called But I Digress. So keep out a look for that. Jaime, you brought up Great Owen Joseph Park. God, that was just a terrible sequence all around. If you watched Impact tonight, you saw that Joseph Park has now added a nephew, and they did I think it was supposed to be terrible for terrible's sake, commercial for Park, Park, and Park. I hate Joseph Park. I miss Abyss. Am I the only one?
No, because you suck me into watching that show every once in a while. It'll be like, Dan, turn it on. And I'll be like, okay. And then I'll turn it on, and I'll be like, why?
There's a lot of it that's good, though.
Why?
Like, the grudge match, the main event for tonight's Impact was El Patron versus Johnny Impact, and it was
that interests me.
It was good. It was really good. Patron turned. He really embraced being a terrible human being. It set up something with him and Eli Drake. It set up the ongoing thing between him and Impact. It set up something between Impact and Drake. Now there's legit good stuff. America's Top Team took out James Storm in a bad way. And now next week, we're going to have James Storm and Moose take on Bobby Lashley and, wait for it, Dan Lambert.
That doesn't surprise me, and it sounds terrible.
Dan Lambert has turned into a hell of a heel.
Why does Moose get stuck in all these gimmick matches?
What is who?
Moose gets stuck in all these gimmick matches.
Because he couldn't figure out how to block, so he became a wrestler?
He's a good wrestler.
No, he's not.
He got stuck with D'Angelo Williams, but I like that match.
That was a good match.
It was, but and now he's getting stuck with the whole American Top Team storyline.
Well, to be fair, it's more James Storm than it is Moose. That Moose thing has kind of ran its course. Am I wrong, Jaime?
It has, yeah. It's more like he's trying to help James Storm because he already knows how to handle American Top Team.
Okay, touche.
Does he handle America's Top Team by breaking into their gym, committing 6 different felonies on any given night, and just... that's what he did.
Showing up to work the next day.
Breaking and entering, grand theft, vandalism, just...
larceny.
Yeah. Oh, transporting stolen goods across state lines. Possession of stolen goods. I'm not a cop, but I'm just saying, why the hell wasn't there an arrest made?
They didn't press charges. It's cool.
That's not something you have the choice of pressing charges about, though. Like, if that happens, they're going to jail.
He has a really good lawyer. It's his attorney's Park, Park, and Park.
Way to bring it back full circle, Dan. That is beautiful. Can we go back to Abyss, Joseph Park, whatever?
I miss Abyss.
I'll do too. Like, the fact that Crazy Steve left and we lost Decay really bothered me. Like, it was right when I started really focusing on Impact again. I really liked Rosemary and Abyss. They kind of played off on it at Bound for Glory. And where did Crazy Steve go?
I don't know. What I heard, he failed the tryout.
I will do some research.
So he failed the tryout to go to the WWE and didn't go back to Impact?
I think he quit Impact to join the tryout. Then he failed the tryout, so he has nowhere to go as of the moment.
So, wait a second. You have to quit Impact before you can even try out for the WWE?
I think it's not an issue with Impact. It's an issue with the WWE, not with Impact. Like, WWE won't allow you if you're under contract with a mainstream promotion.
What about James Storm?
he wasn't under contract when he wrestled for NXT. He signed a new contract.
Okay, I was confused about that because I don't think he missed a week. But
Well, because the episodes were...
Oh, taped, yeah, okay. I forgot about the whole 2-month gap you can have with Impact. That's why we lost 6 months of Alberto El Patron. Whatever. Impact is so good sometimes and so terrible some others. Really frustrating. Do I gotta go on the Browns rant again?
You gotta buy me some more time.
No, we're good. All right, let's move on to the next thing. This is
Okay, hold on. I have answers. I have answers to your questions.
But just when you think you got the answers, I changed the questions.
On June 17th, it was reported that the Crazy Steve was attending a WWE tryout. Later this year, which I'm guessing would be the last couple of months, he announced that he's currently competing for various promotions. So he's back on the Indies, and that's where he is right now.
That's terrible. You know what's even more terrible? I pulled off a perfect Roddy Piper reference, and neither of you two got it.
I can't do two things at once.
We're well aware, you simple-minded fuck. Anyway, this is going to be a new segment we're going to feature every once in a while when I can find some juicy stuff. It's going to be called the Rumor Mill, where I'm going to give you 2 rumors. One of them's going to be fake, and you guys got to tell me what the fake one is. The first rumor. Rumor number 1. The Bullet Club is wanting to fund their own show in a 10,000-seat arena in London to prove that they are a big money draw. Rumor number 2. Ryback will be debuting a new character at the first set of Impact tapings after January 1st. Rumor number 3. James Ellsworth, before his release, was going to win the Smackdown Women's Championship as a transgender wrestler. Jaime, let's go to you. Which one is fake? 1, 2, or 3?
I'm going with 3.
Dan, which one's fake?
Number 2.
That is correct. I'll explain number 1. Dan, you can explain number 3 since this was your story. The Young Bucks have been reported to be scouting potential locations for a show that could air as early as WrestleMania weekend. They want to do a 10,000-seat arena that will be co-promoted by none other than Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club to sell out a 10,000-seat venue in London to prove that they can draw money. Obviously, the Ryback thing was fake. Nobody wants to work with Ryback. Nobody cares about Ryback. We're sorry, Ryback, but you suck. Dan, talk to us about James Ellsworth.
Okay, really quickly on the Bullet Club note, I don't think we get it as early as WrestleMania weekend because the rumors are they are going to do Cody versus Daniel. And I think that might get them to that 10,000 mark if that's his first match back to the Indies.
Cody versus Daniel?
Bryanson.
You mean Bryan Danielson?
Yeah, Daniel Bryanson.
Yeah, okay. Continue with the Ellsworth.
So, according to multiple sources out there, Ellsworth was going to challenge Charlotte at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship. He was going to come out over the next few months and talk about how he's going through a change in his life. And that change was he was becoming a woman. So he went from man to dog to woman. I guess he was really unsure about what species he wanted to be. And looks like he was going to settle on woman. And as you guys can tell, this all started to get set up through the course of him winning the first ever women's Money in the Bank match. And I guess that was how they were going to set up the whole him challenging Charlotte thing, saying he actually won the briefcase. So there's that.
Interesting. Jaime, do you want to jump in and catch where Dan screwed up there?
I don't see where he screwed up, but maybe I think I know. Because he said the WWE is over the silly storylines. He just said the silly storyline.
No, it's not that. By the fact that he said he didn't know what species he wanted to be, so he chose being a woman, implying that women are a different species.
I was hoping you didn't catch that.
Very nicely done, Dan.
I mean, we will have that conversation off air. Let me not. If one of our two viewers is a woman, I don't want to piss them off.
Well, one of them's sitting on the other side of the door connecting to my bedroom, and it's going to piss her off.
She's a different species.
You know she can hear you. And the door just opened. I'm in trouble. Anyway, we actually do have a legit serious sponsor for this podcast, and the Rumor Mill segment was brought to you by OverstockPriceDrop.com. Use promo code CLANDCS, that's CLANDCS. It's quite convenient, it's my Twitter feed. But use that promo code for a special promotion. Dan, how much are they getting off?
You guys are going to be getting 10% off of all your orders. More stock is to come to the website here shortly. Please support the site. It'll help support the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast. So please support both, and we greatly appreciate it.
And by support the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast, we mean that Dan is a part owner in this website. The man that hosts this podcast, pays for the SoundCloud account, edits this podcast, uses his computer, his electricity, and his home to record the podcast, is not seeing a damn dime. But still, go to OverstockPriceDrop.com, use the promo code CLANDCS to get a special offer and help support your favorite podcast, the Caps Locks and Chair Shots show. Anyway, Jaime, we're back up to you. Fighter match of the show. What do you got?
Well, fighter match of the show, UFC 218 Aldo versus Holloway is a good card, but I'm not as excited as I am for 219 because it's Cyborg versus Holly Holm.
Dan?
I'd rather see the chicks battle.
Is he right?
Yeah, definitely. No, he's an idiot, like normal. He's an idiot, it's normal. His card's stacked, top to bottom, Jaime. You're an idiot.
So what you're saying is you don't want to see the women. You don't get the women, right?
Oh, I definitely get the women, but I'm not interested in seeing a man versus a woman.
That's not what I heard.
When did you ever get a woman?
When I was at your mom's house last night, bitch.
So you got all of her STDs?
What was that?
So you got all of her STDs then?
No, I don't get any STDs. I get,
really?
I thought they were called STIs.
You don't even get the S. Come on, you don't even get the S in STD.
Oh, wow, we went around our ass to get to our elbow to get that burn in on Dan. Holy crap, was that painful. Oh, anyway.
I purposely made that painful, so it was obvious that I was help setting that up.
Yeah, that was terrible. Oh, my gosh. Normally I'd apologize for something that bad, but since the two of you listening and one of them is listening to us record this thing right now, we just don't care about you guys. Let us know in our SoundCloud comments. Tell other people we don't care about them. Maybe they'll listen to us as well. I'm trying reverse psychology. Maybe it'll work. Anyway, that fight or match of the show was brought to you by another podcast, and that is XHF On the Air. It's a 15-minute show that'll be done once a month. It'll take you all the action that is action around the XHF world. You can find that right here on SoundCloud. And if you're so bold to be a part of the XHF world, all of our e-fetting stuff is right there. Look for the XHF on Pro Boards. You can find us, sign up, create your wrestler, and join the movement. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Smackdown Tag Team Division. New Day won a huge match against Benjamin and that other guy, whatever his name is that I don't care about. Are we destined to see the New Day and the Usos again?
For now, unless the Bludgeon Brothers Harper Rowan! The Bludgeon Brothers!
Should they put the mask back on?
No.
Jaime, what do you think?
Bludgeon Brothers putting the mask back on.
Yeah, should they put the sheep mask back on?
Yes, they should. It would make them look more creepy.
Oh, Kirk Cousins, you suck! Suck, you jackass! Anyway, yes, I completely agree with you. I distaste this. I hate it all. It's a terrible gimmick. I don't know. What are they going for? Like, what is their whole thing? Like,
Well, I think the WWE doesn't have faith in them as singles competitors. That they think the two are better off as a tag team because they tried splitting the two. They tried giving both singles runs. It didn't work as they thought it would. So, what better way to put them together? And that might even set up a reuniting with Bray Wyatt at some point. Maybe when Sanity gets called up.
they're getting too cerebral with things now. Like, they're being weird for weird's sake. And I just don't agree.
SmackDown needed a call-up. SmackDown needed a tag team call-up.
And the Bludgeon Brothers were it?
Oh, no, they weren't it. That's what I'm saying. Like, they needed to call up someone from NXT. Whether it was Authors of Pain, or Sanity, or you could realistically, as much as I know they wouldn't do it, you could realistically put the Undisputed Era on SmackDown right now.
Oh, God, no.
No, not yet.
No,
Not
that's
yet.
way too early.
I mean, yeah, they're not going to. Those guys are gonna run NXT up till Mania. They're all gonna end up with belts eventually, but that's Shield 2.0. You're gonna see Shield versus Undisputed Era. I'm calling that. You're seeing that in 2018.
You think the Shield's going to be around together that long?
Oh, absolutely. This is they have to keep getting Roman over it. And as much as I know you talked about it earlier in the show, part of the reason why Roman's getting over now is because the Shield's back together.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sold on it. I mean, I don't agree.
It helped.
It helps, but I think he's getting over on his own because he got over without Seth and without Dean. It was him cutting that promo. Like, it was all him cutting that promo. It wasn't anybody else. There was nobody else in the ring with him. It was Roman. It was Roman being Roman, literally. Like, I don't know. But we need to press forward. We're going to be way over time. I'm going to skip the phony little sponsor, and we're just going to go to the next talking point. Let's get our thoughts on Starrcade. These will be quick hitters. Jaime, were you okay with Goldust not being Goldust and being Dustin Rhodes?
Definitely. Yes, definitely, because that's first and foremost a tribute to his father, and second, that's how he was known back in the early days of WCW.
Fair enough. Dan, Arn Anderson, were you all right with the appearance?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Jaime, Ric Flair, you okay with him showing up? He had to be there, right?
Definitely, he had to be there. Ric Flair is WCW.
Steamboat too, yeah? He had to be there?
Yes, definitely.
Dan, didn't see Sting. Is that a problem?
No.
Okay, both of you going to jump in. Jaime first. Is World War III coming back to the WWE? Will we see the three-ring circus of WCW?
No.
I hope so.
Jesus, Jaime.
I hope so too.
Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. And it's gonna be great.
20 guys in each ring, 60 guys, 3 rings, 1 survivor. You do the math. It was genius. It was genius. All right, let's give the people what to watch for. Dan, what should people watch out for?
Let's watch out for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, yeah, the Greek Freak doing his thing. All right. Jaime, what should people watch out for?
Aside from the aforementioned UFC 218, if you want to watch wrestling, it's definitely got to be NXT. You can skip Raw, you can skip SmackDown, you can sleep on 205 Live, but never ever on NXT.
All right, I'm going to tell you guys to watch out for the team I tell you to watch out for every week, and that's the St. Louis Blues. They're the best team in the Western Conference. At one point this week, they were the best team in the NHL. they got the second best scoring line in the league with Shen, Schwartz, and Tarasenko. It was beautiful. Anyway, let's move on. We're actually going to read this one because Dan's going to laugh. That segment was brought to you by LeBron's new hairline. Like the Cavs, they're moving forward after Kyrie. Now, we're going to go ahead and put a nice little fancy bow on this. Jaime, what's going on in your life? Where can people find you on Twitter?
Right now, I started a new video blog on YouTube, The Great JLA. So speaking of The Great JLA, that's also my Twitter handle, so follow me at The Great JLA.
Dan, what's your twiddle handle? Twiddle.
Real D-Direct. I'm doing other shit, too. That shit was funny.
Alright. And you can find me on Twitter, but I'm boycotting the social media thing anyway. That's at CLANDCS. That's at CLANDCS. Big shout out to the new writer, Mike, who is the new NHL editor. Expect big things from him, but we got to get going, folks. So, as always, if you're not down with us, Danny Boy has 2 words for you.
Keep listening.